If a side-eye could kill, well, it would be this one. So word on the street is that in this video, Blake was low-key talking wild, and Zendaya wasn't having it. And because of what happened here, Zendaya might have made it clear to producers she would never be working with Blake. The tea is getting hot, and in this video, we're breaking it all down. The alleged feud and viral moment. So it all started with this absolutely unhinged moment that went mega viral back in 2018. A brief interaction caught in 4K during New York Fashion Week that had the internet collectively losing it and spawned years of feud rumors between these two A-listers. The vibes were immaculate on Valentine's Day, February 14th, 2018, at the super aesthetic Michael Kors Collection Fall 2018 fashion runway show in NYC. The front row was a literal who's who of celebs' peak main character energy. The scene, 21-year-old Zendaya was seated front row, serving looks as always, with 30-year-old Blake Lively and 34-year-old Emily Blunt to her left. What happened next became the moment that launched 1,000 TikToks. The cameras caught Blake and Emily absolutely cackling, while Zendaya appeared to throw major side-eye their way, with what many read as serious "don't talk to me" energy. Some even called it peak RBF. This 5-second clip went absolutely nuclear, spreading faster than a TikTok dance challenge across platforms like Twitter, now X, and Instagram. The internet did what it does best, jumped to conclusions faster than influencers rushing to post about their authentic morning routine. Social media has entered its villain era when it comes to creating narratives about celebs from tiny, out-of-context moments. The response? Totally unhinged. X users began tagging Zendaya with questions like, "What did they do?" showing how quickly the timeline was eating this drama up. Another post described Zendaya's expression as a mood, with everyone living for what they saw as Zendaya's unbothered queen energy. The tea got even hotter when an Instagram account called #Shade_ reposted the video with the caption, #caption this, #Zendaya at the #Michael Kors show during #NYFW with #Blake Lively and #Emily Blunt, basically inviting everyone to write their own fan fiction about what was happening. Classic internet behavior, taking a random moment out of context and turning it into the main character arc of the week. But before this could fully enter its flop era, Zendaya came through with the receipts. Sis wasn't about to let misinformation spread without clearing her name. Seeing the internet wilding out, Zendaya hopped on X to shut it down, posting, "I was looking at the runway," and "Y'all messy, that's all I'm out," making it crystal clear that her attention was on the fits coming down the runway, not on Blake or Emily's convo. She also dropped a comment on the Instagram post that had the girlies talking, saying, "First off, I was looking at the runway, asking when the show was gonna start, don't do me. Trying to make me look shady," and importantly spilled that Blake and Emily were super nice, shutting down any talk of bad vibes between them. This direct response from Zendaya herself should have been the end of it, period, full stop. Like, who knows better about where Zendaya was looking than Zendaya herself? But we all know the internet is in its toxic era when it comes to celeb gossip. Once that narrative hits the FYP, it just won't die, especially when the initial clip was giving such main character drama. But wait, there's more tea to spill. A video from another angle later entered the chat, showing Zendaya clearly looking at the runway, backing up exactly what she claimed. The receipts were clear, but would that stop the gossip machine? That's a hard no. And then, plot twist. Years later, we got even more context that took this story in a completely different direction, and it's actually camp. In 2021, Emily Blunt spilled all during a Vanity Fair lie detector test, revealing that she and Blake were laughing because Emily was worried Blake's red trench coat dress might be, in her words, flashing her vagina. IYKIK, Blunt mentioned.
Zendaya doesn't look very happy, though, with our jokes.
But framed it as Zendaya not being into their risque humor, not as any kind of legit beef. This tea from Emily Blunt gives us the full 360 on what was actually happening. Blake and Emily were literally just having a private girly moment about a potential wardrobe malfunction classic Fashion Week chaos. They weren't throwing shade at Zendaya or purposely excluding her from the conversation. They were just having a, "no, because literally I'm about to flash everyone" moment between friends. And the proof is in the pudding photos emerged, showing Zendaya, Blake, and Emily posing together after the show, giving very much unbothered, supportive queen energy. These receipts, combined with Zendaya's straightforward explanation and Blunt's later tea spilling, give us the full story. That completely debunks any talk of drama between them. So why did this random 5 seconds live in everyone's head rent-free for so long? It's giving classic social media behavior, our obsession with celebrity beef, and our tendency to create whole Netflix series worth of drama from literally nothing. A few seconds of footage, an expression that could have meant literally anything, and the TikTok algorithm boosting drama created a story that was nowhere near the reality of what happened. This situation situation is giving very much the same energy as other celeb feuds that were literally just the internet being messy. Remember Winona Ryder's confused face at the SAG Awards that everyone thought was shade? Or Dakota Johnson's alleged side-eye at the Golden Globes that turned out to be nothing? Same vibe, different queens. What's sending me is how these rumors just won't die, even years later, despite all parties involved setting the record straight. Even with clear denials straight from the source, the algorithm keeps serving us these recycled feud narratives in the content wasteland of celebrity gossip. So here's the real question. Is there any actual tea between Zendaya and Blake Lively beyond this Fashion Week moment? Has there been anything else that would suggest these two are actually in their villain era with each other? Or is this entire narrative just giving misinformation based on a single moment that's been fully explained and debunked? Well, to understand this, we have to get the full tea. We need to zoom out and look at the bigger picture, especially the recent Blake Lively discourse that might have the algorithm resurfacing these old feud rumors. Blake Lively's controversies and public image. To really understand why these Zendaya feud rumors keep getting resurrected from the dead, we need to unpack Blake's recent era and all the discourse surrounding her. While that 2018 Fashion Week moment was literally nothing, Blake has been going through it with some very real controversies that have the internet in a chokehold, and might be why people are so quick to believe she's beefing with other celebs. The main character drama right now? Blake Lively is in the messiest, most unhinged celebrity beef of 2024 with Justin Baldoni over their film It Ends With Us, the movie adaptation of Colleen Hoover's best-selling novel about domestic violence. This situation is giving peak Hollywood drama that's been absolutely dominating entertainment. Headlines throughout 2024 and 2025, completely overshadowing the film's box office slay and becoming the talk of the timeline. The tea got scalding when in December 2024, Lively filed a complaint with the California Civil Rights Department, accusing Baldoni of sexual harassment and toxic workplace vibes. Her allegations included claims that Baldoni made inappropriate comments and boundary violations, including improvising kissing scenes without proper consent. Not the vibe. Lively then hit him with a federal lawsuit on December 31st, 2024, naming not just Baldoni, but also Wayfarer Studios and others, accusing them of orchestrating a smear campaign to drag her after she raised valid workplace safety concerns. These are serious claims that have had the industry shook. Baldoni wasn't having it and clapped back, calling her allegations completely false and intentionally salacious. In January 2025, he escalated by filing a $400 million countersuit against Lively, her husband Ryan Reynolds, and their publicist Leslie Sloan, alleging defamation, extortion, and invasion of privacy. Baldoni's lawsuit claimed that Lively was trying to take over the film and using false allegations to cancel him. The drama is literally off the charts, and it doesn't stop there. Baldoni also sued the New York Times for $250 million, claiming they were spreading unverified tea. Both sides have rejected mediation, meaning this is going to be a long saga, with a trial date set for March 2026. The fallout has been intense for both of their careers. Baldoni got dropped by talent agency WME, lost 3 gigs, and had his Pac-Man movie project put on life support. He also had his Voices of Solidarity award snatched back. Meanwhile, Lively has gotten support from several big names, including Colleen Hoover, the author of the original book, who publicly backed her and even deactivated her Instagram as a show of solidarity. The drama has become so mainstream that comedians are using it as material at award shows. Judd Apatow literally called It Ends With Us a terrible movie while roasting both Lively and Baldoni at the DGA Awards. And Chelsea Handler was serving jokes about their beef at the Critics' Choice Awards. The most recent tea in this saga? An actor from It Ends With Us came through with receipts on April 8th, 2025, calling out Lively's claims about a birthing scene, saying she was not nearly nude as her lawsuit claimed, but was actually wearing a full hospital gown, shorts, and a torso-covering prosthetic. And just a few days ago, on April 13th, 2025, actress Talia Shire entered the chat defending Baldoni, accusing Lively of taking advantage of his kindness and trying to undermine his vision. But this It Ends With Us drama is just Blake's latest era of controversy. She's been called out for several past situations that have resurfaced and contributed to what some see as problematic behavior. One of the biggest yikes moments involves Blake and Ryan Reynolds' 2012 wedding at Boone Hall, a literal former slave plantation in South Carolina. This venue choice was heavily criticized for its historical connections to slavery, especially as awareness about these issues has grown. The couple eventually apologized in 2020, claiming they didn't fully understand the implications and reportedly had a do-over ceremony elsewhere and donated $200,000 to Black Lives Matter after George Floyd's murder. Related to this mess was Blake's lifestyle brand Preserve, which in 2014 posted an article and photo shoot called Allure of Antebellum that was dragged for romanticizing the pre-Civil War South without addressing slavery. The backlash contributed to the site flopping and shutting down in 2015, though Blake described the closure as being because the site wasn't giving what she hoped it would. Hollywood. In a more recent cringe moment, Blake posted an edited photo on social media in 2024, making fun of Kate Middleton's Photoshop fails, which many found insensitive. After Middleton announced her cancer diagnosis, Blake deleted the post and apologized, but the damage to her image was already done. There have also been interviews that resurfaced that have the internet side-eyeing Blake's behavior toward others in the industry. Most notably, a 2016 interview with reporter Kirsty Flaw went viral in a bad way in 2024, showing Blake giving low-key, shady responses and making a comment about Flaw's little bump, which was particularly hurtful as Flaw later revealed she had been struggling with infertility. In another problematic moment, Blake faced criticism for defending Woody Allen during the 2016 press tour for Cafe Society, despite sexual assault allegations against him by his adopted daughter, Dylan Farrow. Farrow later specifically called out Blake and other actresses who had praised Allen while simultaneously supporting the #MeToo movement. The tea also includes rumors of on-set drama throughout Blake's career. During her Gossip Girl era, there were claims that she and Leighton Meester avoided each other like the plague, though these rumors were later denied by showrunner Josh Schwartz and other cast members. Similarly, there was talk of beef with Anna Kendrick during the filming of A Simple Favor in 2018, though these were denied and they're both set to appear in the 2025 sequel. Actor Armie Hammer even threw shade on Watch What Happens Live, hinting that Blake was the problem during his time on Gossip Girl, suggesting she might have gotten him written off the show, though these claims remain in he said, she said territory. What we're seeing here is a complicated picture of Blake Lively's public image. On one side, she's a successful actress, entrepreneur, and mom who's built a strong brand in Hollywood. On the flip side, she's been repeatedly called out for behavior that some see as giving privileged, problematic, or difficult vibes. It's important to note that many of these situations are complex, with multiple sides to each story, and it's hard to know what's actually the truth behind many of these controversies. However, all these PR struggles have created a narrative around Blake that makes rumors of beef with other celebs, like Zendaya, seem more believable to some people, even when there's literally no evidence to back those claims. What's really interesting is how the public perception of celebs can be shaped by a mix of actual incidents, media stories, and the social media algorithm boosting certain narratives. In Blake's case, there seems to be a pattern where even minor incidents can quickly snowball into major controversies, especially when they fit into existing narratives about her. However, some real celebrity feuds have given us some iconic moments through the years. Celebrity feuds and the Hollywood drama machine. Female celebrity feuds have been a staple of Hollywood for decades. The entertainment industry is literally built on competition-limited roles, limited awards, limited magazine covers, and this environment can create genuine tensions that the media loves to amplify and monetize. Let's look at one of the most iconic celebrity beefs, Nicki Minaj and Mariah Carey during their time as judges on American Idol in 2012. This wasn't just your standard shady comment situation. We're talking full-on explosive arguments during auditions, with Minaj reportedly storming out after heated exchanges with Carey. The tension reached its peak when Carey told Barbara Walters that Minaj had threatened to shoot her, describing the work environment as unsafe. Minaj denied these claims, saying in a Power 105.1 interview, "It's all love. We are shooting a show, we are there for the contestants, and I still admire and have a lot of respect for Mariah. But the damage was done." This feud became the main character of that American Idol season, completely overshadowing the actual contestants and the show itself. And then there's Taylor Swift, the undisputed queen of high-profile beefs. Her feud with Katy Perry is absolutely legendary in celebrity culture. It reportedly began in 2014 over backup dancers, with Swift's Bad Blood widely believed to be about Perry, who later responded with Swish Swish. The drama played out across social media, music videos, and interviews for years before they finally buried the hatchet in 2018, when Perry sent Swift an actual olive branch before her Reputation tour. But Swift's drama catalog doesn't stop there. Her feud with Kim Kardashian in 2016 over Kanye West's famous lyrics included a leaked phone call, public callouts, and Swift's eventual snake reclamation. Talk about turning lemons into lemonade. The receipts were flowing on both sides, and the internet was absolutely living for every new development. Even Swift and Miley Cyrus have had their moments. After Nicki Minaj criticized Swift's VMA speech in 2015, Cyrus weighed in on X, accusing the media of pitting women against each other, which ironically contributed to exactly what she was criticizing. If we go way back, we can find the OG queen of celebrity feuds, the iconic rivalry between Bette Davis and Joan Crawford that began in the 1930s and reached its peak during the filming of Whatever Happened to Baby Jane in 1962. This beef was so legendary that it inspired the entire FX series Feud, Bette and Joan. When Crawford died, Davis allegedly quipped, "You should never say bad things about the dead, only good. Joan Crawford is dead. Good. Savage." Even Britney and Christina couldn't escape the narrative. In the early 2000s, the media pushed hard on the Britney Spears versus Christina Aguilera rivalry. While While there was never a huge public feud between them, the constant comparisons and perceived competition created a narrative that persisted for years, showing how media framing can manufacture tension even when it might not actually exist. That's the thing about Hollywood feuds. They exist on a spectrum from completely real tensions to totally manufactured drama. Take the alleged beef between Nicole Kidman and Margot Robbie over sharing a British Vogue cover. This was pure media speculation with literally zero receipts to back it up. Similarly, Susan Sarandon revealed that her supposed feud with Julia Roberts during Stepmom was completely fabricated by her publicist to generate publicity for the film. She tweeted, "Press printed that Julia and I hated each other during Stepmom. Found out it was my PR person creating rumors." Yikes, talk about manufacturing drama. What's really sending me is how obsessed our culture is with the idea of women fighting each other. It's giving very problematic vibes when you realize that these narratives often play into stereotypes about women being catty or unable to work together. A USC Annenberg study from 2007 to 2017 found that only 4% of 1,223 filmmakers were women, with a ratio of 22, one male to female directors. With such limited opportunities, it's no wonder there's competition. But the media's fixation on female rivalry often overshadows the systemic issues at play. Going way back to old Hollywood, we have the mother of all celebrity rivalries, Bette Davis and Joan Crawford. Their feud began in the 1930s and reached its crescendo during the filming of Whatever Happened to Baby Jane in 1962. This beef was so iconic it inspired an entire FX series, Feud, Bette and Joan. When Crawford died, Davis allegedly said, "You should never say bad things about the dead, only good. Joan Crawford is dead. Good." That level of shade could block out the sun. However, sometimes the media manufactures these beefs even when there's nothing there. In the early 2000s, the media pushed hard on the Britney Spears versus Christina Aguilera rivalry. While there was never a huge public feud between them, the constant comparisons and perceived competition created a narrative that persisted for years. Similarly, Susan Sarandon revealed that her supposed feud with Julia Roberts during Stepmom was completely fabricated by her publicist to generate publicity for the film. She tweeted, "Press printed that Julia and I hated each other during Stepmom. Found out it was my PR person creating rumors." Imagine finding out your own team was making up drama about you. The alleged Nicole Kidman and Margot Robbie feud over sharing a British Vogue cover was another example of pure media speculation with zero receipts to back it up. Sometimes the algorithm just decides two successful women can't possibly support each other, and a feud is born. Historical feuds show this isn't new. Just look at how the rivalry between Mary, Queen of Scots, and Queen Elizabeth has been dramatized countless times, most recently in the 2018 film starring Saoirse Ronan and Margot Robbie, or the infamous Tanya Harding and Nancy Kerrigan incident from 1994, which became a cultural phenomenon and later the subject of the film I, Tanya. But a couple years ago, the father of all celebrity feuds played out on our TV screens. The Depp-Heard saga wasn't just another celebrity feud. It was a full-blown cultural moment that completely transformed how we view celebrity conflicts. The couple met in 2009 on the set of The Rum Diary and had a whirlwind romance, marrying in February 2015. But things went south fast, with their marriage ending in May 2016 when Heard filed for a restraining order, alleging physical abuse by Depp accusations he vehemently denied. This wasn't just your standard celebrity breakup. It evolved into two major legal battles that had the entire internet taking sides. First came the 2020 UK libel case, where Depp sued British tabloid The Sun for calling him a wife-beater. The judge ruled against Depp, finding the newspaper's claims substantially true, based on evidence that Depp had assaulted Heard on multiple occasions. This ruling led to Depp being dropped from the Fantastic Beasts franchise, a major career hit. But the real drama exploded during the 2022 U.S. defamation trial in Virginia, where Depp sued Heard for $50 million over her 2018 Washington Post op-ed, describing herself as a public figure representing domestic abuse. Though she didn't name Depp directly, he claimed the implication cost him roles, including his iconic Jack Sparrow character. Heard countersued for $100 million. This trial literally broke the internet. It was televised live from April to June 2022, turning into a social media spectacle unlike anything we'd seen before. TikTok and Twitter became virtual courtrooms, with millions of users dissecting every facial expression, testimony, and piece of evidence in real time. What made this situation so unprecedented was the massive public engagement. The social media response overwhelmingly favored Depp, with hashtags like #Justice for Johnny Depp generating billions of views, while Heard became the target of memes, mockery, and intense scrutiny. This wasn't just celebrities and their PR teams fighting through carefully crafted statements. This was an all-out war playing out across social platforms, with the public as active participants. The jury ultimately ruled largely in Depp's favor, awarding him $10.35 million while giving Heard $2 million on one count of her countersuit. Depp claimed the verdict, gave me my life back, while Heard called it a setback for women speaking out. After initial appeals, the pair settled in December 2022, ending the legal battle but leaving permanent marks on both their careers. So how does this relate to the alleged Zendaya-Blake Lively situation? It completely transformed the landscape for how celebrity conflicts play out in public. The Depp Heard case showed that social media now serves as judge, jury, and executioner in celebrity feuds, with public opinion potentially having more impact than any legal ruling. Think about it. The 2018 Fashion Week moment between Zendaya and Blake was a 5-second clip that would have been a minor footnote in pre-social media days. But in our post-Depp Heard world, even the smallest interaction can be endlessly dissected, with fans picking sides, creating narratives, and amplifying snippets of evidence that support their chosen celebrity. What's really sending me is how the internet response to Blake Lively's recent controversies mirrors, on a smaller scale, elements of the Heard backlash. The TikTok and X algorithms flooding feeds with anti-Blake content during the It Ends With Us promotional period shows how quickly public opinion can turn against a female celebrity. And just like with Heard, there's evidence that some of this backlash may have been deliberately orchestrated. Remember those subpoenaed documents revealing Baldoni's team planned to make Hate for Lively go viral? It's giving major déjà vu to allegations that Depp's team used social media campaigns to shape the narrative. That brings us to the end of this video. For more interesting videos like this, click on the cards on your screen.